History is replete with tales of grandeur, conquest, and the inevitable demise of those who once held immense power. While some rulers met their end on the battlefield or through natural causes, others departed under circumstances so peculiar and enigmatic that they continue to baffle historians and enthusiasts alike. Let's delve into the lives and mysterious deaths of 10 ancient rulers whose final moments remain shrouded in intrigue. Number 10. Alexander the Great, 356 to 323 BC. Alexander the Great wasn't just a military genius. He was basically the rock star of ancient times, conquering most of the known world by age 30. After a wild night of heavy drinking in Babylon, Alexander fell ill and suffered a high fever for several days before dying mysteriously. Ancient historians like Plutarch and Arrian wrote about his bizarre symptoms, fueling endless speculation. Some suggest he died from typhoid fever or malaria, while others whisper about poisoning, possibly by envious generals tired of his endless campaigns. Strangest of all, ancient reports claim his body didn't decompose for 6 whole days, suggesting he might have been paralyzed and buried alive. Talk about an exit that keeps historians awake at night. Number 9. Rameses III, 1217 to 1155 BC. Rameses III ruled Egypt during a rocky period, fending off invasions, economic crises, and internal revolts. But as it turned out, his greatest threat wasn't outside the palace walls. It was sleeping next to him. In a real-life Game of Thrones, his secondary wife Tai, frustrated that her son Pentawere wasn't first in line for the throne, orchestrated a chilling conspiracy. With the help of corrupt officials, court magicians, and even harem guards, they planned the king's murder. For centuries, it was unclear whether the plot had succeeded. The ancient judicial papyrus of Turin mentioned a trial, but was vague about the outcome. Then 21st century CT scans finally solved the mystery. Ramesses III's mummy showed a massive, fatal throat wound, likely from a sharp blade. Imagine thinking you're the living god of Egypt, only to be backstabbed literally by your own household. Tough break, Ramses. Even a pharaoh's power couldn't save him from the ultimate family drama. Number 8. Attila the Hun, 406 to 453 AD. Attila stormed across Europe like a one-man apocalypse, razing cities and crushing armies. The Romans called him the Scourge of God, and even seasoned generals trembled at his name. So how did this fearsome warlord meet his end? Not on a battlefield, not from a hero's duel, but on his wedding night. After marrying a young woman named Ildiko, Attila supposedly indulged in heavy drinking, suffered a violent nosebleed, and choked to death in his sleep. That's what the historian Priscus wrote anyway. But many scholars smell something fishy. Perhaps Ildiko, who had every reason to despise her new husband, assassinated him, or maybe some ambitious Hunnic nobles saw an opportunity. Regardless, for a man who lived by the sword, Attila's quiet and almost comedic end feels almost too ironic. Imagine the terror of Europe being undone not by a blade, but by a bad hangover and some bad luck. Talk about a plot twist history couldn't make up if it tried. Number 7. Qin Shi Huang, 259 to 210 BC. China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, was a living legend who did the impossible. He unified 7 warring states into a single empire and kickstarted massive projects like the Great Wall. But beneath that iron-fisted leadership lurked a deep, gnawing fear, the terror of death. Obsessed with immortality, he sent expeditions to search for mythical elixirs and even the fabled Islands of the Immortals. Unfortunately, his royal alchemists had some questionable recipes. They loaded his potions with mercury, thinking it could preserve life. Mercury is better for thermometers than eternal youth. His health sharply declined with symptoms like tremors, dementia, and paranoia. Classic signs of mercury poisoning. Ultimately, the emperor who built a dynasty to last forever couldn't even secure a few more years for himself. If there's one lesson here, trust your doctor, not the guy who thinks drink this shiny liquid metal is sound advice. Number 6. King Wu of Qin, 310 to 307 BC. King Wu of Qin was the kind of ruler who loved to show off, and not just with power, but with sheer brute strength. After a successful reign filled with ambition and bold military reforms, he decided it was time to demonstrate his personal might. So he attempted to lift a massive ceremonial bronze ding. Think of it as the ancient Chinese equivalent of trying to deadlift a truck for bragging rights. In front of his court and high officials, King Wu strained, lifted, and catastrophically injured his back. The internal damage was so severe that despite the best ancient medicine could offer, he died shortly after. It was the ultimate case of pride leading to downfall, literally. If only King Wu had stuck to flexing on his enemies politically instead of trying out for ancient world's strongest man competition, history might have looked very different. Number 5. Duke Jing of Jin, 599 to 581 BC. You know you're in trouble when ancient soothsayers start predicting your doom, and you laugh it off. Duke Jing of Jin openly mocked a prophecy foretelling his death, only to stumble into a latrine and drown shortly after. Yes, the ruler of a powerful Chinese state died by falling into a public toilet. Ancient chroniclers were both mortified and gleeful about recording such an embarrassing demise. It's a literal crappy way to die, but it also stands as a grim reminder. When the gods or shamans send you a warning, maybe don't laugh it off at the next feast. Number 4. Sogdianus, 424 to 423 BC. Sogdianus, a little-known king of the Persian Achaemenid Empire, ruled for less than a year, and his exit was as grim as they come. Betrayed by his half-brother Ochus, he was promised safety if he surrendered. But Ochus had a twisted sense of justice. Instead of the usual sword or poison, he ordered Sogdianus to be suffocated in a tower filled with hot ash. Talk about a literal smothering of political opposition. It's a brutal and theatrical death, fitting for a time when betrayal was practically a family sport in royal courts. Number 3. Themistocles, 524 to 459 BC. Themistocles, the brilliant Athenian general who turned the tide against the Persian Empire at Salamis, ended up exiled in Persia after falling out with his fellow Athenians. Talk about a career pivot. According to ancient sources, he either died from illness, which sounds boring, or chose to commit suicide by drinking poison, reportedly to avoid having to lead a Persian army against his beloved Athens. Either way, his death was a tragic fall from grace for one of Greece's sharpest minds. Imagine Elon Musk ending up building electric chariots for Sparta. It's that level of irony. Number 2. Emperor Wuzong of Tang, 840 to 846 AD. Emperor Wuzong was another ruler who believed that immortality was just one magic potion away. He enthusiastically supported Taoist alchemists who whipped up life-extending potions filled with mercury and other heavy metals. Unsurprisingly, these toxic brews wrecked his body. Modern analysis suggests he suffered from mercury poisoning, leading to mental decline, emaciation, and death. In a strange way, Wuzong did achieve a sort of immortality, just not the kind he was hoping for. Instead of living forever, he's remembered forever for one of the worst self-inflicted deaths in history. Number 1. King Bela I of Hungary, 1060 to 1063. King Bela I had fought his way to the Hungarian throne with blood and steel, but it was a humble piece of furniture that brought him down. As he sat on his throne, it collapsed under him. Whether from sabotage or sheer bad luck is unknown, causing severe injuries from which he never recovered. It's hard not to imagine the royal carpenters having a very bad day afterward. Bela's bizarre demise reminds us that, in the end, it's often not armies or assassins you have to worry about. It's shoddy construction work. And there you have it, 10 ancient rulers who ruled like legends and died like urban myths. If you enjoy diving deep into these bizarre royal exits and want more mind-blowing tales from history, make sure to smash that like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next adventure through time.